So I've put this little video in case you want to know a bit about me, how I became one of the UK's leading life coaches and what got me to here. If you're not interested in knowing more about me, that's absolutely fine. You do not have to watch this video, but it's just because lots of people ask me, and so I thought I'd put it in. And so my name's Bianca Valenta, and I have spent, well, after leaving university, I worked in industry, I worked in logistics for a number of years, and then I worked in education because I wanted a better quality of life. I wanted to do something that made a difference. I really wanted to help children become adults and give them the resources they needed to get there. I specialised in IT, but I loved it. I loved working with the kids. What I didn't like about education was the sort of politics, I wasn't very good at paperwork. I'm kind of as anti-establishment. You know, I like challenging myself, I like challenging other people, and I'm sure my bosses, if they were watching this, would say she was very challenging. And the truth is, I loved the teaching bit. What I didn't like was all the stuff that went on behind the scenes, and the sort of, I guess, the negative struggle that everyone seemed to go through in school I was in anyway. So after a period of time, I got physically very ill. I was struggling with depression. I say depression because I'm not sure if it wasn't just negative inner talk a lot of the time, telling myself I wasn't good enough. When I went to see the GP, he was like, oh yeah, you're depressed. You need, did the questions, yeah, you're depressed. Here you go, antidepressants, go on a long waiting list for some talking therapy. And I found counselling just kind of made me feel even worse because I was just talking about the problems I was in. I became very physically ill. I put on weight over a period of about 5 years, from when I kind of met my husband to I met my husband and then I became depressed. But no, it was just because really I was okay when I was giving 110% to my job, and then when I had the other pressures of life, having a relationship I wanted to invest in, having, I'm just kind of conscious I'm a bit low, so let me just pull my chair up a bit. Having children and struggling with all the different pressures, but wanting to do a really good job in everything. I ended up not doing a very good job anywhere. I became physically ill. I put on loads of weight, I just said that. I didn't do any exercise. I ate poorly. I drank a lot. I was on antidepressants. And I was just broken. I had really low immunity. If there was a cold going around, I'd get it. I had glandular fever. Oh God, I could go through all the ailments a sort of 20-stone unhealthy woman went through, but I'm sure, it makes sense. As I said, glandular fever. I had a number of miscarriages, which I believe were related to stress, and unhealthy lifestyle. Was that the only reason? No, I'm sure there's lots of other things. I was quite old. But there were so many things that made me feel broken. I had ended up with a form of it's not arthritis, but something called ankylosing spondylitis, which is an inflammation of the bones around the spine. There were so many ailments I had. It was crazy. And, oh God, I'm just feeling about the poor little sort of fat me that was really struggling with life. And the reason I've set up this group and the reason I did what I'm doing is I don't want people to end up being broken like I was. I want to stop people getting to the point where they're just thinking, they're lying in bed for 6 weeks because I had chronic fatigue syndrome and I just couldn't move, and I had a child I wanted to run after and I couldn't look after him, and I was just sad and tired. And one of the things I remember most of all was just being exhausted and having no joy in my life. So what happened? I decided, well, if I was be lying in bed all day, I might as well lose some weight, and I started eating better. I decided I had a food intolerance, and that's why I was fat and depressed and tired. It was because of the wheat. So I went on a diet. I started exercising, and ironically, my mood started changing, and I thought, oh, I'm onto something here. Maybe I have got an intolerance, and I started studying nutrition because it had to be food intolerance. I discovered that I didn't have a food intolerance. What I had was a general intolerance of the rest of the world, and I struggled with people not thinking the same way as I did, and the world, It was a whole epiphany. So I retrained in counselling over a number of years. Sorry for me kicking the table there. And then I kind of thought, why am I retraining? Why have I trained to be a counsellor when actually I went counselling and it didn't help me? So I was like, oh, and what had actually helped me was seeing a life coach. Number of years, I was like, oh, I need to see someone. Oh, I can't afford a life coach. Oh no, they're too expensive. Oh, there's nothing I can't do on my own. I can do it. I just read the right books and actually, yeah, it got me started. And I listened to the podcasts and I read the books and, did the work myself. But what it didn't do was challenge me to get over the hump. I kept on looking at the hump and going, oh, I'll look at something else. The hump being those obstacles that we put in our lives, that we put in the way for ourselves. That I kind of often use this analogy, you'll hear it a lot, that we're almost like an iceberg. And there's that bit, that trouble, that challenge we can see above the water. What we can't see is the bit below the water, which is what a life coach helps us see what we can't see or we choose not to see, and help us see things more clearly. So she helped me start sort of saying, okay, what is it I'm putting in the way for myself? And I then thought, okay, so going back to me being a counsellor, why am I being a counsellor? Why am I trained to be a counsellor when actually it was a life coach who helped me? I'm going to learn to be a life coach. So I spent the next 3 years becoming a really good life coach, learning NLP, learning positive psychology, neuro, sort of reprogramming, all the things that help people change themselves, transform who they are. And I did it I didn't go to a course and suddenly learn some form of transformational coaching and then go, oh, I'm a coach. It's actually taken me, I've been a coach in business for 10 years and I've been running my own business now for 7 years. That's where it's been a slow process, learning how to coach successfully. Is it easy? No, there's lots of life coaches who do a £30 coach course and say, I'm a life coach. No, actually, it takes years and years of reading, working with clients, learning your process, and also learning more about yourself and your values, which is why I set up this group, because I'm hoping you'll have the same sort of, not values, but the same perspective on what personal growth as I do, which is it's okay not to be perfect. Oh, is it? No, I probably want to be in an ideal world. If I could suddenly be made perfect, would I want to be? Maybe. But a little part of me knows that there's no quick fix, there's no quick solution, there's no quick diet, there's no quick answer. I'm not going to say, here you go, here's the answers that's going to make your life amazing. What it is, it's about a slow journey and then it will last. Anything that comes quick is likely to go quick. It's about saying, you know what I get put into this is what I'm going to get back. And that's what I'm about. Connecting with professional working mums who have worked hard to get where they are and want to make sure they keep it and they carry on growing. I actually mentioned it previously in one of the videos that I'm not a huge fan of Facebook. Why? Because I find there's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of people touting Facebook groups that I've joined that will add value, and they really don't. And I'm scrolling through trying to find something that I can take away from this that will be value added. And I spend more time trying to find those little glimmers of hope and help and inspiration than I do actually getting the hope, help, inspiration. And I'm like, there needs to be a group where every single post can help me in some way, aspect of my life. I want to know that I go straight to here and there's going to be a post that makes me think or challenges me or adds value or something like that. And that's what the whole point of this group is. I'm kind of thinking about business meetings, that there's always those people who, I always think, why are you standing around and chatting at the end? They're probably just being nice and connecting with other people. But I'm kind of like, we've had a meeting, we've got action points, off I go, do the action points. And I'm one of those people that actually, I want to do stuff. I want to take it forward. I want to move with it. I'm quite eager, impatient, keen, but I also want it to add value. And in that way, I'm kind of a little bit blinkered. Do I speak to people? Yeah, but I have times when I'm social. I have times when I'm working. I wouldn't spend sort of 20 minutes at the end of a meeting to ask someone about one point that they went through. I'd probably email them and ask them very clearly when they've got a minute, could we have a chat or, and clarify those points. So I hate Facebook because there's just a lot of crap out there, and this group, I want to be valuable. Really long pause. That's me buffering. I do that when I'm thinking. I am buffering. Why I want to connect with you. I mentioned it previously before. I've said that before, which is this really, I want to have people who inspire me. When I go through the manifesto in the next couple of videos, one of the most important ones to me is we nurture connections with people who inspire us. You inspire me. Working with some of my clients inspires me. I was like, I want you to be my friend, but you can't because it's client like coach relationship. I can't be your friend. You're my client. But I want to be friends with them because they inspire me and they help me grow. And that's what this group's about. I want to have connections with you where I learn more about you. I help you get to where you want to be, but also I learn every coaching experience I have. I learn more about myself. I learn more about how the world works, how people think, and that's amazing. That is really important to me, knowing that every opportunity, those opportunities we get to grow, sometimes there's millions of them around us that we don't even see because we're too busy living our lives doing the do. And actually there's lots and lots of opportunities that you might see as a challenge, which is actually a growth opportunity. So that's why I want to connect with you. Not completely altruistic. I want to have some friends who value me as much as I value them and inspire me. So tell me what your thoughts are. Am I alone in actually really not liking Facebook that much? Or do you think I'm really blinkered and I'm missing the bigger picture? Let me know what you think, because it might be a limiting belief. There may be some really amazing groups out there. If they are, drop me a private message and say, Bianca, there are a lot of crappy groups, but these ones are really good. So join it. So you know me. And also, if you've got any questions about me, how I got to where I am, I have a number of qualifications in nutrition, in counselling, in NLP, coaching. I've spent years and years reading books on personal improvement and positive psychology. So hopefully the plan is that I take all the good bits out that I've learned over the last sort of 10 years and give them to you in a short and brief version with just the actionable bits. But tell me if there's something you think is important to know about me, about what would help you. Ask me any questions. I'm pretty open. There's nothing that will offend me or I would be embarrassed to answer. No, there isn't really. Okay, so get in touch. Let me know your thoughts.